Welcome to Crazy Aries Crime Podcast. Committing crimes is what Aries does. Anyone's head can be on the chopping block. And I mean anyone. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. It's a work of fiction. I don't promote violence or harm to anyone in the real world. This podcast may contain violent content which may be too intense for some listeners, and it is intended for a mature audience. Now, you have been warned. This podcast will air bi-weekly for your listening ear. Enjoy Aries' adventures and her antics. This episode is titled Aries Confession, Sarah, Part 1. Now, Aries, she don't have many regrets, but every now and then a memory hits her cranium like a box of rocks. See, cause I'm Aries. I was just sitting here, just minding my own business, like I always do, when I heard, "Make it right, Aries." I jumped up and began fighting the air. Cause I'm like, hey, what's going on? I don't see nobody. Where she at? Where she at? Show yourself, devil. Show yourself. Then I heard it again. A soft voice. Help Sarah make it right. Now, the only Sarah I knew was the girl I went to high school with. I began talking out loud. Why do I need to help Sarah? Why do she need my help? And do I look like Mother Teresa? Short story, people. The Sarah I knew at the time was a very smart and quiet girl. A good girl. Nerdy chick. A loner, but a good girl. But I, Aries, allowed some rowdy troublemakers to hype me up. As you know, it don't take much to hype Aries up. Why? Because I'm all about that smoke. Yes, I am. Stating that they heard that Sarah had been talking smack about my deceased mother. Now come on now. I will hurt someone. You know how people feel about their mother. Dead or alive. Don't play. So follow me. Like I told you before, Aries don't look for trouble. But guess what? Trouble always find me. I have a reputation to uphold. So when the crowd came to me, like she was talking about your dead mother, a woo 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 woo, I wasn't going to be punked out. Again, it was all about my reputation. So I had no choice but to step to poor Sarah and embarrass her. I didn't beat her up like the crowd wanted me to, but I had to step to her. She didn't deserve for me to put these paws on her. But peer pressure will make you do some things. And at this point, my hands was tied, y'all. They was like tied behind my back. Clink, clink. The crowd was yelling, "Fight, fight, fight, fight." So I rushed Sarah and I grabbed her by the neck with my two hands. Trust me, I ain't put no pressure on her or she would have been out like lightning. And then I yelled in her face for everyone to hear. "Were you talking slick about my deceased mother, chick? Were you talking slick?" And I started punking up. Was you talking about my mother?" Her eyes got big as saucers and she began to cry. Oh my God, that broke my heart. I didn't want to come at her like that. So I whispered in her ear while I was clenching my teeth. "You a good girl, Sarah. I'm not going to hurt you. I just have to make it look like I am. You understand? You feel me?" The relief on her face. She was melting like ice. "Now listen, Sarah. I'm going to put you in a soft headlock and body slam you gently on the ground. Have you ever watched wrestling on TV?" She shook her head yes. I said, "Okay. I'm going to count to 3. And when I count to 3, you jump up and pretend like I'm about to slam you. Then cover your face while I scream at you. Do you get that? She was like, okay. Now, you have a target on your back. But don't worry about that. Because if anybody come for you, I'm coming for them. I said, now girl. Put on your acting hat. Because here we go. She whispered, thank you, Aries. I won't forget this. I said, and neither would I, baby. Neither will I. I'm just sorry that someone made you the butt of a lie. But don't worry about that. They gonna pay too. Aries don't play. Like a tattletale. And she whispered, Stacy started the lie. She stole my money and I reported it. I guess this is my punishment. Had I been stupid enough to believe that you would talk slick about my mama, nobody in their right mind would put their mouth on my blood. I said, now it's about to go down. Then I started to count. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. And that's when Sarah put on her acting hat and the bouncing rubber in her shoes. And she went up in the air and came back down on her back. And the crowd went bananas. The joke was on them though. I then said, don't nobody touch my Sarah. Yeah, you heard me. And I mean it. Stacy, I have a bone to pick with you. Now Stacy all walking up on me, all willy-nilly, all happy, cheesing like a Cheshire cat. Unaware that I'm about to whoop that chick into submission. What's up, Aries? I responded with, you like stealing, hoe? She's like, what? I said, you heard me. Because I know you ain't hard of hearing. And that's when I socked her in the face. She grabbed her face stunned. Then I said, give me everything you stole out of your pockets right now. And without hesitation, she went into her pocket and pulled out $100. 5 20s. This chick made off good today for money she didn't have to work for. And you know what, guys? That angered me even more. And before I knew it, I blacked out. And when I came to, she was screaming and holding her finger. I think it was the police sirens. That brought me out that daze. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So with the $100 in my hand, I grabbed Sarah, put it in her hands, and I took off running. You know why? Because Aries cannot be confined in no 6x8 prison. No ma'am, no sir. Me and the popo, we is not friends. Me and the popo don't get along when they trying to take this beautiful specimen to a 6x8 with roaches and termites and other little creepy things. Ugh. No, not gonna happen. But you know what? What I regret to this day is that I should have stood up for Sarah. I should have said, I know Sarah was not talking slick about my mama. But instead, my pride won and I gave into peer pressure. Then here comes that voice again, spooking me the hell out. Help Sarah. Make it right. I jumped up. Please don't do that no more. I don't want no parts of the spirit world. Every time it spoke, I got chills up and down my spine. So I got on social media on my hunt for Sarah Blue. But you know what, guys? It was not hard finding Sarah Blue. I unboxed her. Now, you have to come back to see how Sarah's life turned out and how I was able to help her. That's part 2. Until we meet again. That's all. That's all, folks. Did you enjoy this week's Crazy Aries Crime Podcast, where anyone's head can be on the chopping block? And if you would like to support this podcast, you can do so through Cash App at $R Weston 252. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Like it, share it, along with your thoughts on this episode. And dear hearts, keep it classy. Smooches. To listen to this podcast, you can go to Anchor.fm, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, and other sites where podcasts are available. Now, Crazy Aries is always on the prowl. So until we meet again, be safe.